The Galactic Council's emergency session had been called to order with unprecedented urgency. 12 species, each representing billions of souls across the spiral arm, sat in their crystalline chambers overlooking the nebula-lit void. At the center of their heated debate was a single word that had shaken the foundation of their 1,000-year dominion. Human. High Counselor Zeftar of the Vorthan Empire slammed his four-clawed appendage against the obsidian podium. The human. Colony on Kepler 442b has refused our ultimatum for the 4th consecutive cycle. They mock our authority. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. The aquatic Myrthani delegation bubbled their consent, while the silicon-based Kreloks resonated their chambers in harmonic approval. For a millennium, no species had dared defy the Council's will. The humans, barely 3 centuries into their spacefaring age, were an anomaly that threatened everything. "Send the Shadow Blades," suggested Counselor Yxandra, her chitinous form gleaming under the chamber's artificial light. 5 of our best. The human leader will surrender or perish. The motion passed unanimously. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of New Haven Colony, watching the triple sunset paint the alien sky in shades of amber and violet. At 34, she was young for a colony administrator, but the frontier had a way of aging, souls faster than bodies. Her coffee had grown cold in her hands as she reviewed the Council's latest transmission. "Ma'am," Lieutenant Rodriguez approached cautiously. "The perimeter sensors have detected 5 unidentified vessels. They're strange." Sarah turned, her hazel eyes reflecting the dying light. "Strange how?" "They're not broadcasting any signals, and their ship seemed to bend light around them, almost like they're not entirely there." The Shadow Blades had arrived. The assassins materialized in the colony's central plaza at midnight, their forms shifting between solid matter and living shadow. Each represented the pinnacle of their respective species' evolution, bioengineered killers who had never failed. A mission. Kethmore, the Vorthon blade dancer, moved with fluid grace despite his 7-foot frame. Silvacy, the Myrthani poison weaver, carried death in her very breath. The others were equally lethal: a Krelok siege breaker, a termite, mind ripper, and Zarthok, the most feared of all, a shadow walker who could phase between dimensions. They expected fear, they expected chaos. They found neither. Instead, they found Sarah Chen waiting for them in the plaza, alone, her hands empty at her sides. "I assume you're here for me," she said calmly, her voice carrying clearly in the still night air. Zarthok stepped forward, his form solidifying into a towering figure of midnight and starlight. "Human, you will accompany us to face the Council's judgment, or you will die where you stand." Sarah smiled, not with bravado, but with something the assassins had never encountered before: genuine curiosity. "Before we begin, may I ask you something? When was the last time any of you were truly challenged?" The question hung in the air like a physical presence. Kethmore's forearms tensed, his ritual blades singing as they cleared their sheaths. "You think to delay the inevitable with words?" "No," Sarah replied, rolling her shoulders in a gesture that seemed almost casual. "I think I'm about to show you something your council doesn't understand about humanity." She moved. What happened next would be debated in the council chambers for generations to come. Sarah Chen didn't fight like a warrior. She fought like humanity itself. Every movement was adaptation, every strike was evolution in real time. When Kethmore's superior speed should have ended the encounter in seconds, Sarah turned it against him, using his momentum to send him crashing into Silvacy's poison cloud, where the Vorthan's natural resistance to toxins became a liability. As he absorbed concentrated doses meant for human physiology, the Krelok's silicon-based strength shattered the plaza's foundation, but Sarah rode the shifting ground like a surfer riding a wave, her balance perfect despite the chaos. The termite's mental assault found no purchase in a mind that had learned to think in 3 dimensions while managing atmospheric processors, magnetic field generators, and terraforming schedules simultaneously. And Zarthok, the unstoppable shadow walker, found himself outmaneuvered by a human who treated dimensional phasing not as magic, but as simply another variable in a complex equation. In 12 minutes, it was over. The assassins lay defeated, but unbroken. Sarah knelt beside each of them, checking for serious injuries with the practiced ease of someone who had performed emergency medicine in environments where the nearest hospital was light years away. "Why?" Zarthok gasped, his form flickering between dimensions involuntarily. "Why do you heal those who came to kill you?" Sarah looked up from bandaging Sylvessy's torn fin. "Because that's what humans do. We adapt, we overcome, and then we reach out a hand to help others up." She stood, addressing all 5 assassins. "Your council sent you here believing that fear and superior technology make right, but they're missing something fundamental about humanity. We're not strong because we're the best at any one thing. We're strong because we refuse to stop learning, growing, and caring for others, even our enemies." Kethmore struggled to his feet, his ritual blades forgotten in the rubble. "The council will send fleets. They will not accept this defeat." "Then I guess I'll have to go speak with them personally," Sarah replied, extending her hand to help him stand fully. The gesture, a human offering aid to one who had come to kill her, broke something fundamental in the assassin's worldview. For the first time in his bioengineered existence, Kethmore felt something beyond duty and death. He felt hope. When the 5 Shadow Blades returned to the council chambers 3 days later, they came not as conquering heroes, but as changed beings. They knelt not in defeat, but in recognition of something greater than their individual strengths. "We have found," Zarthok announced to the stunned assembly, "that humanity's greatest weapon is not their adaptability, their resilience, or their ingenuity. It is their unwavering belief that everyone, even their enemies, can become something better." Behind them, Sarah Chen stepped into the chamber, not as a prisoner but as an equal. "Now," she said, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's potential, "shall we discuss a real alliance?" The age of human dominance hadn't begun with conquest. It began with compassion,